Side Elementary School for this meeting of the Hood River County School District Board of Directors. It is April 22nd and it is 6:31 p.m. All right, I'm calling us to order and we are going to start with any revisions to the agenda.
Good evening, Madam Chair. We do have a revised personnel report tonight.
Okay, I know Megan sent that out. I hope everybody had a chance to glance at that. Great. All right. We will then move on to the superintendent report.
Okay, all right. Well, good evening, Madam Chair and members of the board. It is a pleasure to be here at Westside Elementary tonight. A little later in our agenda, we will hear directly from Principal Ocean Kuykendall, Assistant Principal Joe Kelly, and their team regarding the many Wildcat successes defining the school year. However, before they take the floor, I want to personally recognize the intentional efforts being made here to elevate student outcomes. This progress is no accident. It is a result of a staff deeply committed to academic rigor and student leadership. The work being done through the AVID articulation plan is particularly impressive. Westside is fostering a culture of literacy by focusing on explicit, high-level engagement. This past January, the school hosted its inaugural Family Literacy Night, creating a bridge between classroom learning and home engagement. The staff is fostering a culture of writing with purpose, where explicit teaching is occurring daily that includes quick writes, one-pagers, and refined note-taking strategies. In addition to their focus on writing, the AVID Wildcat Ambassadors program continues to be enhanced, providing students with the agency and confidence to take ownership of their educational experience. I am also thrilled to see the active PTO engagement focused on enhancing the playground experience, ensuring our students have a vibrant space to grow socially and physically. The momentum here is impressive, and it is a testament to the hard work of the Westside staff, students, and families. I look forward to hearing more from the Westside team this evening. You may have heard that Governor Kotek recently provided a statewide executive order that puts extra scrutiny on the school calendar and instructional minutes for students. As was discussed at our last board meeting, we are proud to share that through a collaborative process, we have developed a school calendar that provides an additional day and a half for professional development. After looking at this calendar in more detail, we believe that we are at a no net change in instructional minutes. Our original calculation represented a negative 2.5 hour impact, but after further examination, the streamlining of off days to all Mondays results in a net zero impact on total instructional hours. We are nearing the conclusion of the hiring process for the May Street Assistant Principal position and the Cascade Locks Elementary Principal Specialist opening. Over the past week, we have successfully conducted both first and second round interviews. This included input from our staff and community forums at Cascade Locks Elementary, ensuring input from the staff and community were a part of the process. We feel incredibly fortunate to have had such a high caliber of candidates apply for these roles. Our plan is to officially announce the successful hires by the end of this week. Mark your calendars for the HRVHS Scholarship Night occurring tomorrow evening beginning at 5:30 p.m. If you have never attended, it truly is an inspiring event. This year, our students will be awarded over $500,000 in scholarships. While the students in attendance already know they have been selected for an award, the specific scholarships remain a surprise until their names are called on stage. It is a really special night for many proud students and families. I want to say thank you to the HRVHS staff and the Hood River County Education Foundation, including all of the volunteers and donors who support this tremendous scholarship program. A little over a week ago, our transportation department hosted a barbecue and an open house as part of a proactive effort to recruit new bus drivers. I want to personally recognize Kyle Roselle and the entire transportation team for their outreach and hard work on this initiative. Currently, our staffing shortage is such that Kyle and our mechanics are stepping in daily to drive routes, ensuring our students have safe transportation to school, home, and their various extracurricular activities. To put the urgency of our recruitment needs into perspective, Kyle recently shared that we are projected to spend approximately $70,000 this spring on charter bus fees alone, just to get our student athletes to their scheduled away games. I share this to emphasize that our need for additional drivers is significant. If you know of anyone who might be interested in joining our team, please encourage them to reach out to Kyle Roselle. Over the past 2 weeks, our Safe Routes to School program successfully held community engagement initiatives focused on student safety and environmental stewardship. Last week, each elementary school hosted dedicated walk and roll mornings to honor the legacy of Dolores Huerta, promoting active transportation and community leadership. Building on this momentum, students demonstrated remarkable resilience during today's Earth Day celebrations. Despite the inclement weather, they organized bike buses to commute safely and collectively to campus. The results of our friendly inter-school competition, crowning the campus with the highest bike bus participation, will be officially announced in tomorrow's school district newsletter. Finally, I want to remind the board and the community that our budget committee meetings are approaching. These sessions are an important opportunity for us to present the proposed budget for the 2026-27 school year, answer questions, and gather feedback before the budget moves toward final approval. The first meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, April 28th, followed by a second meeting on Tuesday, May 5th, with both meetings beginning at 6 p.m. at the Hood River Valley High School Library. Following these deliberations, the committee will vote to approve the budget and forward it to the school board for final adoption at our June 10th school board meeting. And that concludes my report for this evening.
All right, thank you for all of that. Any questions for Superintendent Newton? All right. Thank you. Okay. We are going to move on to board member reports. Anybody got anything? Can't remember last time we were here. I will just say I had the opportunity to go up to the bus open house, and it was really fantastic. It was there were several bus drivers there, some coming just off of their routes and evening routes, and Gus and Kyle put together a really nice kind of dinner, and it was just kind of nice to see people hanging out socially. I got to talk to a lot of people, but just talking to everybody up there reinforced to me how much we need bus drivers. Everyone up there is working really, really hard, and too hard. It just is going to be a burnout situation. Then we're going to be in worse trouble than we are. So, you know, it's a great job. You sort of work in the morning, and you have an afternoon off, then you work in the afternoon again. But also I know that there's a lot of flexibility because we really need people. So if you know anyone who wants to drive a bus but only has limited hours, I still would encourage you to go and talk to Kyle or get a hold of our HR department. It's really impressive that we have our own bus fleet. There are a lot of schools that have to whatever. I can't even think of my words, but go outside. Contract, thank you. Contract buses, and you don't get the personalization that you get when you have people in your own community that drive buses, and they do work extra hard because they know how much it means to your community, and it really becomes a family. And it just is not something that a lot of districts are doing anymore. So I really think that it's an important thing to try to keep within our district, and the only way we can do that is to kind of have people step up and help us out, and it's also a great job. So anyway, that's my plug. And now I'll stop talking. And we will move on. We have no student envoys tonight because this is a really, really busy time of year for those two, and they are both very involved, and I have imagining they're going to be at scholarship night tomorrow, so they got the night off tonight. But we are going to move on to recognition and good news with Ocean Kuykendall and Gus Hedberg.
Members of the board, I'll give a third shout out for bus drivers. We really need bus drivers, and appreciate the call for those. So it's a great team. Let us know if you're interested. But Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm so glad to be here to participate in recognition and good news. And Principal Kuykendall is going to present our recognition and good news for this evening.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here tonight to celebrate the incredible work of our Westside Elementary School PTO and Playground Committee. So I think not everybody could come tonight, but I have Claudia, if you could come up. Claudia, Eric, and Jess, if you're here. make sure that's not Jess walking through. Okay. I'm honored to be here tonight to celebrate some of our PTO board and playground committees. So tonight I have Claudia Monk von Floto, who is on our playground committee, and I also have Eric Albertson, who is our PTO treasurer and also helping with our playground committee. And tonight I'm missing some key players tonight. I wanted to give a shout out to Tom Veazey, who is a parent and on our playground committee, Brooke Benchletter, and Alex Danielson, and Jess Jones, who is also our PTO president. In the fall of 2024, I met with our PTO board to share my growing concerns about our aging playground. Before I knew it, and seemingly overnight, a team of passionate parents had joined together to create our playground committee. What stood out to me immediately was how this team didn't dwell on the challenge. They leaned into it with a solutions-focused mindset and a willingness to dream big. And when I say overnight, it really did kind of happen overnight. Over the past months, they have poured their time and energy into this effort, brainstorming ideas, meeting with community partners, and gathering meaningful feedback from stakeholders. Because of that work, we now have a beautiful, thoughtful design that will give our children and entire community a place to climb, create, imagine, and connect for years to come. I really wanted to thank you all for your vision, your leadership, and all the hours you've already dedicated in the last year and a half to planning, organizing, and fundraising. Your commitment is going to make a lasting difference for our students and our entire community. And I also just want to say I'm so very lucky to be able to work with the parents at Westside. We have a large PTO. Our president, Jess Jones, has really encouraged volunteerism at Westside. And then our playground committee, Tom, Brooke, Eric, and Claudia have just really dreamed big with this playground. It's going to come out in several phases. And I have a little QR code for you guys later to look at the website. Well, it's not there is a link to fundraising there, but this link will take you to kind of our vision of what we'd like the playground to look like. And the other thing too, that actually Claudia speaks a lot to when she's in front of community partners is this is just not a playground for Westside. This is a community playground. Our site is used every single day by multiple agencies. And because of that, our playground is declining. And so this is just a really bright spot in the community, and I'm really excited to see how it unfolds. So thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate you very much. And I think, do you have something for them?
We do.
Oh, we have
yes.
gifts for you.
Yes, we have a couple of traditions. So yeah, thank you so much for being here representing the West Side PTO and parent group. We're just so appreciative of your support for our schools, and we couldn't do it without you, so thank you. We have a gift on behalf of the board, and we also need to get a picture of you with our superintendent. So
I am an embarrassment.
It's a
I
minute.
had 2 biopsies yesterday.
We got you.
That's right.
but I'll offer any time for questions or anything from the board.
I mean, that was my question. Like, Claudia, what's going on?
Sunscreen, so skin damage.
Thank you.
I will just say that it was many years ago that I was on the West Side PTO, and we were kind of doing the same thing. So it just is really
I told you were going to cry tonight.
it just really makes my heart it just makes me very thankful to have these traditions carried on and to have Westside be such a special place throughout all of these years. And I thank you for all of your hard work. And I know from lots of different angles what a difference it makes to have an engaged family at your school for the kids and the staff. So thank you both, and thank you to everybody who puts the time in, and because it really is for more than just Westside, it's for all of us, and really appreciate that time that you put in.
We're only just trying to live up to the PTO legends.
Of the past, yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can't wait to look at the website and see what it is you're gonna do. I think it is very true, like, my kids did not go to West Side, but, obviously, we have different from each of the different things, but they played on the West Side playground a ton, right? Like, everybody, I think it is truly community. Every child grows up playing on the West Side playground during sports events and community events and everything else, so, that's wonderful that it is getting the update it needs, so, thank you.
And there was one typo on that website, and I'm actually not 40, I'm 50, because I put my year I was here was 1995, but I think it was probably 85. So I should disclose
I
that.
would have totally called you out on that, Ocean.
Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. I appreciate you.
She's not gonna change it.
Don't change it.
I'll leave it up there for a while.
You don't have to.
I did dress specifically for
They can do amazing things.
I don't care. It's just our reality, right? Okay.
Thank you very much. One more round of applause.
All right, thank you so much. That is exciting. Okay, we are now going to move on to public comment, and tonight we have 4 speakers. I'm going to read a short statement, and then I will call up the speakers in order with which they signed up. I will keep track of your time. Everybody has 3 minutes. I won't start it until after you've said your name and your county of residence. And then also just to let everybody know that the board is usually taking notes, so if we're not looking at you, it's because we're trying to get down what you said and not ignoring you. Okay. The Hood River County School District Board of Directors requests comments be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Speakers will state their name and county of residence for the record. The board appreciates community members sharing information during public comments. While the board does not respond to public comment following the meeting, the chair, vice chair, and superintendent will together determine the appropriate level response. Speakers may offer objective criticism of district operations or programs, but the board will not hear complaints concerning specific district personnel. Public comment won't exceed 30 minutes. If you were unable to make a public comment to the board today, you can always submit your public comment by email to the hrcsd.board@hoodriver.k12.or.us, and we will review them. The board chair and the superintendent will review them and then respond. If the material you are speaking about could be considered inappropriate for certain age groups, please provide the comment in writing or provide notice to ensure adequate time is provided for those in the room to leave. Okay. All right, we will start with Aaron O'Hearn.
My name is Erin O'Hearn, and I live in Hood River County. Hello, members of the board and district leadership. I am a speech-language pathologist with the Pine Grove Early Intervention Early Childhood Special Education Program and parent of 2 school-aged children. I am here to share my concerns about the proposed relocation of the Early Intervention Program and the process so far. This is not about Mid-Valley itself. From what I have seen and heard, Mid-Valley admin and staff have been accepting and welcoming to the idea of our program moving there, and I want to thank them for that. This is about the program needs not being adequately considered and our program not being consulted in this process. The proposed relocation has been presented as a move between practically equivalent spaces. Even if the square footage were more similar, the quality and function of the space is not remotely equivalent. The old gym and cafeteria do not have adequate space to meet our needs or the needs of the families we serve. When I worked at Mid-Valley, the rooms off the cafeteria were appropriate for small special education or ELD groups of K-5 children that can sit at tables for extended periods. Preschool-age children cannot nor should not do this. They need space to move, and we need space to provide therapy through play as well as table activities as we work on pre-academic skills. If we were to attempt to have a small therapy group in the gym, the children would want to do what you do in a gym: run. Additionally, it has been suggested that our program's children can use the Mid-Valley playground. It does not seem appropriate nor safe for preschoolers to play on this large playground where elementary children may be playing at the same time. Parking is also a concern. Where would our 13 staff members, 2 district vans, and the families we serve park? Families need nearby parking throughout the day for screenings, evaluations, therapy sessions, and meetings. How are our families supposed to access the building during drop-off and pickup when the line of cars extends past the baseball field and to the market? Park far away and attempt to walk between the lined-up cars? This seems like a safety issue. At the last board meeting, it was asked if we would be able to provide the same level of service. I would argue that no, we will not be able to provide the same level of service that we currently do. As a result, these children may enter kindergarten with fewer skills, potentially costing the district more in special education dollars in the long run. I would ask the district, are you prepared to show that you value early childhood education? Are you willing to protect the core student experience of all the district's children, as noted in the last budget update message? Are you prepared for the negative optics from the community standpoint of closing a historic and beloved building? Of having this building and playground sit empty for unknown or questionable savings? Please consider all other cost-saving options before making the decision to close Pine Grove and move the early intervention program.
Thank you, Erin.
Thank you for the opportunity to share my perspective.
Okay. Our next speaker will be Sierra Dawn.
Hello, my name is Sierra Dawn, and I live in Hood River County. I am a mother, a colleague, and I am a school counselor. I come to you today with a wide open heart, one that cares deeply about the social, emotional, behavioral wellness, and academic success of every student every day. From September 2022 to last June, I had the best job of my life as Westside's kinder through 2nd grade student support specialist. I witnessed the power of early support, connecting students with the right resources so they could grow into their best selves. When we do this early on, we build confidence, connection, and a foundation for lifelong success. Around this time last year, I was informed of my involuntary transfer. It was a top-down decision that cut my wings and dimmed my sparkle, not all of it. I advocated for myself, and I chose where to land, which brought me to be HROA's high school counselor. You guys, the differences are so extreme between early elementary and high school counseling, between in-person and virtual hybrid learning. HROA is an essential safety net for our district. We support students in every way, and we keep students in our district. While enrollment across the district is declining, HROA has an extensive wait list. But when many students cannot access HROA, they don't just wait, they leave. Right now, this school year alone, there are 220 kinder through 12th grade students in Hood River County who have become inactive. 77 of them are currently in charter or other online learning programs. That's a whole lot of ADM that we are losing. That's a whole lot of education and connection lost. HROA has lost over 5 full-time positions in the past 2 years, while being asked to serve the most intense range of student needs. So let's talk solutions, real quick. Why not let students participate in hybrid learning and dual enrollment? Let them. Why not let struggling students shift to the 24 credit diploma? Let them. Why not lean on building admin and staff to come up with creative ways of restaffing before making top-down decisions? I could still be here at Westside Elementary, my dream job, if that were a possibility. Please let that happen. There are creative solutions and an abundance of possibilities if the top lets the decision-making happen with educators who work directly with the students, and they work with students' minds and hearts every day. Let us be part of the decision-making process. because when we focus on students and their needs as we navigate this turbulent future in education, real learning and real life skills happen and we retain students. Let us work together to support every student every day and keep them in district.
Thank you,
Thank
Sierra.
you.
Okay, our next speaker will be Riley Thomas. All right, I'm ready.
Hello, members of the board, Superintendent Newton. My name is Riley Thomas. I live in Klickitat County and have served this community as an occupational therapist for 8 years, including 4 years with Hood River County School District in the Early Intervention and Early Childhood Special Education Program. I am here today with serious concerns about the proposed move of our program from Pine Grove to Mid-Valley. This decision will harm the vulnerable families we serve, both now and in their transition to K-12. First, there is no clear plan and the district is cutting revenue. As of the last board meeting, there was still no communicated plan for how Pine Grove will be used if we leave. At the same time, abandoning the programs at our school will remove preschool revenue that currently offsets most of the building's utility costs. Yet the building will still require maintenance and upkeep. Mark DeMoss shared numbers, estimating costs at $2.5 million over the next 10 years. The district is proposing to eliminate existing funding for the school without a clear plan to cover future costs. Second, there is a lack of financial transparency. Board members have already asked the critical questions. What does this move cost? What are the actual savings? Is this really the best option? These questions have gone unanswered. The board is being asked to make a significant financial decision without a full picture and time to process. You wouldn't buy a home or send your child to college without knowing the price tag, and yet this is what you are being asked to do with this move. Third, the proposed space does not meet the needs of our programs and families we serve. We would be leaving a site designated for birth to 5, with specialized therapy rooms, a private meeting space, a gym, and a developmentally appropriate playground. In its place, we are being offered half of a gym, a cafeteria, classrooms designed for students who can sit at a desk, and a playground built for elementary students. You wouldn't take your child to see their doctor in a gym, nor would you see a therapist in a cafeteria. That's not appropriate. We would never expect that level of care in any other professional setting. In summary, I urge you to pause on the decision to move the EI-ECSE program. Do not approve this move until the full financial picture is clear and an appropriate plan with adequate space is available. Early intervention is the mouth of the stream that feeds the river of K-12 special education. If we weaken the foundation, this impact will be felt for years to come, especially as the district is moving to spend more on K-12 special education while simultaneously facing declining enrollment and less funding in the future. Our families and this program deserve better. Thank you.
Thanks, Riley. Okay, you guys. We try not to interact too much between the audience and what we're doing up here, so if you could hold your applause, I really appreciate it. I'm sorry, but if we let it happen for one, we have to let it happen for all, and there might not be things that we can applaud, so I'm sorry to ask you that, but we're just gonna try to hold our applause and, you know, maybe give like a little like, thank you, okay. All right, and last, Caroline Lips. Oh, hold on, Caroline, sorry. Okay, I'm ready.
Hi, my name is, excuse me, sorry. Frog. My name is not Frog. Hi, my name is Caroline Lips. I live in Hood River County in Cascade Locks. Starting my timer now. Before, I actually prepared something to say tonight, but after listening to these other comments, I just wanted to say something first that over the last couple months, I've attended a lot of different meetings and opportunities to engage with the school board, and I feel like a common theme that's been happening is that all of these interactions with the school district and the decisions being made just feel really performative. It feels like we go to these listening sessions, we attend different meetings, we express our concerns, but I personally feel like I have not been heard, and based on other comments that I've heard, it feels the same. Okay, moving into my comments, it'll probably cut off, but I'm here to follow up on the email that I sent to the board on April 15th. I'm a first-year Hood River County School District parent of twins in kindergarten, and a parent to a 3-year-old, hopefully who will go to Cascade Locks Elementary. Over the last couple of years, our families have experienced many sleepless nights worried about whether our children can even go to the school in our community and if they can receive an equitable elementary experience. So instead of just worrying, I started looking to see how I could advocate for our school, and the data that I found surprised me. The district has cited declining populations as a basis for budgetary decisions that seriously impact schools like mine, Cascade Locks Elementary. So I pulled 17 years of enrollment data from ODE, and according to the Oregon Department of Education Fall Membership Report, Cascade Locks enrolled 66 students in 2014-15. Well, 10 years later, that number was 65. So we lost one student over a decade. In that same period, the district lost 335 students. That's an 8.1% decline. For other context, Mid-Valley lost 22%, Westside lost 21%. Cascade Locks did not cause this district's enrollment problem. Over the past decade, we've held steady, yet we continue to absorb cuts disproportionate to our enrollment, and we continue to live under the threat of closure. That is not equity. It is not what this board's own strategic plan commits to, and quite frankly, it's really traumatic for our community to continually be put on the chopping block. As of this morning, our current head count is 75, and this is confirmed with the school. So why does the head count matter? The district's budget cites 18,000 or 24,000 cost per student, but I'm here to emphasize that cost per student calculations provided to the board use many different enrollment numbers as baseline, none actually reflecting our current enrollment. So if you use the model provided with last year's budget with 75 students, actually in the net cost per student is $15,275 after you account for the remote school correction. That's nearly identical to Parkdale and Mid-Valley. So no, we don't cost more per student. We're the only school bringing in the remote school correction. The expensive school narrative is built on an enrollment number that is no longer accurate.
Thanks,
Thank
Caroline.
you.
And you can send, if you want to send us your,
Yeah, I
the
did.
rest of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was working on it, but.
yeah, thank you. We'll take a look at it if you send it to us. All right, then that will conclude our public comment period. I just want to thank everyone who took the time to come and speak with us. We appreciate hearing your comments, and I know it feels very strange to talk to us and not have us talk back to you. And I just did want to take a second to explain that to people who have not been in the district for a long time. There was a time in our school district that there were arguments between the board and the community members or people who came to listen to it, and it just was a very unproductive way to handle a meeting. And so before my time even, there were enacted rules that said that, you know, we would take in the information and then we would respond in time with what we felt like was a appropriate response. And I know that sometimes feels not, let's say, performative. But you can also always, you know, reach out to us. We are very willing to talk to people one-on-one. We obviously can never get together and talk with people. You can always reach out to your building administration, your teachers, our district administration as well, to communicate your thoughts. And we love to get letters and whatnot, but I just wanted to explain why we don't respond in real time. It just can get really hard because once you do it with some people, you have to do it with everybody, and that can cause issues when there are things being said that we don't maybe want to keep engaging in. So just wanted to kind of explain history to you all. We do respond to everybody that comes in and takes the time to comment because it means a lot to us. It really does inform, how we look at things. So just want you to know that, and I appreciate everybody that came in. Okay, we are going to move on. I am just a talk tonight. That's just going to be the way it is. We have consolidated reports. There was just a financial report in there that I hope everybody got a chance to see. Consolidated action has 4 items, and if everybody had a chance to look over that, I would take a motion for that one.
I'll move to approve the consolidated action as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, so motion by Corinda, second by Dave. Any comments from all 3 of you down there? All right, hearing none, we'll go Monica.
Aye.
And Corinda.
Aye.
And Dave.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, so that passes. All right, thank you very much. And on to reports and discussions. We are excited to have Westside Elementary School. And I don't know who's coming up, so you can.
I do, maybe not either, but we'll go with it.
Let's just go over here, Gracie.
Google Meet page here. Forgive me here.
Best part. It's way too quiet in here.
I know.
Okay, good evening. I am so excited to be here tonight to present to you all some exciting happenings at Westside Elementary School. And before we get started, I wanted to have our students that aren't in the chairs yet to come on down. So we have Renata. Renata, can you wave at the? Okay, we have Renata. We have McKenna. We have Alea. We have Layla. Layla, do you want to wave to everybody up front here? We have Zabi, we have Reese, and we have Callahan. And then my 5th grade ambassadors, can you guys come sit up in the chairs as well? And we have our avid ambassadors here. We have Olivia.
Hold on,
Oh.
Ms. Kuykendall. You guys can come on up so you can really get your
Yeah.
picture.
Come on up, guys.
Of course.
We have Olivia, Addison, Lily, Grant, Kaya. Okay. And then we have a lot of staff here tonight. We have John Sherwood, our music teacher. John is the one with the guitar. We have Sarah Maddox, our reading intervention teacher. Jackie Adair, our 4th grade teacher and avid site coordinator. We have Sarah Fox and Gretchen Von Lupken, our kindergarten teachers. Stacy Doss, Amy Hassett, Kristen Marble, our 1st grade teachers. Joe Kelly, our assistant principal. Beth SSS. I want to give a shout out to Leah Yost, our 3-5 SSS, who helped put together tonight as well. She's absent this evening. Martha Dell, our learning specialist, and we also have a lot of our staff in the audience tonight. So looking forward to a great presentation for you all. So let's start with our school song. Not a new school song, has been, thank you for that. Is that better? Okay. It is not a new school song, but we have brought it back. And so we're going to have all of our students stand up. And students, if you don't know, if you are nervous, the words are on the screen behind you. And then Mr. Sherwood is going to play the guitar. And if you know the song, you can sing along or you can try to sing along. Nice job, you guys. We are going to just start with a little bit of school improvement plan. So Jackie, could you come up and help me with these slides?
All right, so I'm Jackie, or Miss Adair, and I'm lucky enough to teach 4th grade here. This year at Westside, we've really decided to focus on writing. Starting in our younger grades, they've given a lot of time to daily handwriting, and we're making sure that we protect our writing time, that nothing gets, nothing intrudes on that time. We're also trying to do a lot of writing across subject areas, making sure we're writing in science, social studies, a bit in math, and keeping writing at the forefront of all that we're teaching. To make sure our teams are in line with that, we're using a lot of focus on our PLC time together to collaborate on that writing process. Do you want to flip to our next? We've spent quite a bit of time in articulating, shared resources. Are we using the same graphic organizers? So the kid that comes to me at 4th grade has had some exposure to the similar note-taking format that gets introduced in younger grades. And that's been really helpful for us this year. We have an articulation plan, which is a living document that lets us share our great resources, because we spent a lot of time brainstorming and collaborating, and this has been a work this year to make sure we have all that we're trying to focus on in one spot. Teachers access it, teachers edit it, so it's a living document, breathing and changing and growing as we add to our skill set. We're doing a lot of Avid one-pagers, quick writes in Avid, Avid 2-column notes. We've been introduced to us the 5-second writing outline this year, and it's been really nice to see just consistency among the classrooms and making it easier for kids to move through the grades.
And I just want to add too, all of this in green has been a collective effort of all of us kind of committing to what we're going to do in terms of writing. So this first column you can't see, but it's on one-pagers. And so we've all decided at each grade level how we're going to build upon it. So we're not starting from scratch every year. And that has taken a lot of collective work and a lot of people committing to doing what we say we're going to do. And Jackie is, I've kind of bribed her, I think, maybe to be my Avid site team leader, but she's been doing a great job of helping us along the way. And I just want to outline this slide real quick. I'm not going to read through it, but all of the bullet points here on the left are new things that all of our teachers committed to do this year and try out with writing. And so this is not like everyone's not doing all of these, but this was a mid-year SIP review in which teachers said, this is what we said we were going to do, and this is what we did, and this is how we need to improve it. So I just pulled all of this up. You can read it at your own time, but it is getting a lot of writing and writing collectively as a building in front of our students. So anything else you want to add?
We sort of gave ourselves the permission to teach the writing process, which is a longer process, but also recognize writing in really short snippets can build a lot of stamina for students, can lower anxiety for student writing, and I think that addition has just been really good.
Recently, we had an outside Avid person come in, and we had a lot of writing on display. And so this is K-5, different types of writing, and I just wanted to highlight it because a lot of this you're going to see our kindergarten and first graders present to you, but it's a pretty amazing what kids can produce when they have excellent teachers in front of them committed to making sure that they're going to excel throughout the school year. So those are just the pictures on the right are examples of the one-pagers. And we have on the left, you can see just like that's a first grade one-pager on math. So everybody can do that. Okay, thanks, Jackie. All right, I'm going to have our first grade teachers come up real quick.
Are they going to sing?
They can. They're quite good.
You might not want us to do that. We do that with our kids. You have to be in our classroom if you're going to have us sing. Hi, I'm Amy Hassett, and I'm a first grade teacher here at Westside, and I have two of my exceptional students with me, Reese Whiting and Zabdiel Heredia. And we, about a year ago, we introduced 2-column notes to first graders. It's something that we do weekly, and we tie in our curriculum wonders vocabulary to that. We do some scaffolding, so at the beginning of the year, we tie in our essential question. So we'll give them a sentence frame, and in the beginning of the year, they fill in part of the sentence, but at this point in the year, they're creating their own sentences using our weekly vocabulary words.
And I'm Stacy Doss. I have Callahan float out with me. And you can see in their journals all the hard work that they put in. They're going to share them with you in a bit. But our Wonders curriculum has 5 to 6 vocabulary words every week. And so we choose to focus on 2 because we know it really aids in their decoding skills, language, and reading comprehension, which is what we're working on so hard in first grade. So we choose 2 each week to take a deeper dive into where they're using them in sentences, illustrating them so that they can take a deeper look at the vocabulary that we're learning so that they can become better readers and better prepared for second grade when they see it in second grade.
And I am Kristen Marble. I am also a first grade teacher, and I have the wonderful Layla here with me as an example of our 5-second quick writes. So as we are working on doing our writing and learning about the writing process, jotting your notes down, then editing our writing, and then building into a stronger written piece, we started with the 5-second note. We did the same thing at the beginning of the year because this is a weekly activity that we do. We started it out doing as weekend news. So every Monday or Tuesday, the first day of school, students come in, we talk about what they did over the weekend. They have that time to kind of jot those things down and do a quick sketch to go with it. And then we can build on that and add transition words and build stronger sentences and then complete a finished product of writing. So they have really enjoyed it, and it's been a great scaffold for them to learn that they can write. It doesn't have to be as daunting as it can sometimes seem to them. And then they're also learning to become stronger writers, and they're really thinking about, when we talk about it every week, we talk about a topic sentence. We talk about details. We talk about transition words. We talk about conclusions. All these things are building those writing skills so that as they move up into the grades, they'll be comfortable with that terminology, they'll be comfortable with the writing process, and they will become stronger writers because of that.
So what we're going to show you is some of their hard work. So they're going to come up and show you their notebooks real quick.
Someone come over here.
Anybody want to show me? They don't want to show me.
Show us. This is a release.
Hello.
That's great. That is really cool.
This is my avid journal, and it's very special.
You actually did pictures of all of them too?
Take notes and
where I put my notes,
and so
then
we have an essential question.
That is very cool. And I love how you did your whole topic
and we
and
each
the
get one of these.
conclusion.
And then we get to vocabulary words, and then we write a sentence related to it's within our essential question.
made
Where is this from?
electric light bulbs,
Picture first and then
so people don't
you
like
write
get
you
hit
write
with
and then you.
other light bulbs
Okay.
that were in the past.
Really neat. Can I see your other writing too? Is that okay? This seems like you're working really hard.
And
Do you like writing?
it helps
You're gonna
people
keep
light
writing?
up,
Is there some other?
it lights up people's dark houses into light houses.
So good.
Oh, okay.
Really nice at night.
Some upside down and mixing stuff. That's really neat.
You like thorn bugs?
This was earlier when you were doing
What's an
this.
example of a thorn
It
bug?
says my
It could be
my
on it could be on something prickly.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
it is that you could if you could build any structure.
We
It would be
practice
like
writing 2
I
letters
said it would be
every
a
week.
house.
So this is Harry Happening. This is Golden Girl. And there's always fun.
Okay.
They will want it.
Madam Chair, am I allowed to have our audience clap for these outstanding first graders? Let's give these guys a round of applause. first graders, you did an outstanding job. You're welcome to go back with your parents. You don't have to sit up in the front anymore unless you want to. Thank you.
If you could go dance,
They can
it
take
would
my
be-
seat if they
it
want.
would be,
Okay. I would like our kindergarten teachers to come on up. And Renata, McKenna, and Alea, come on up, please.
That was awesome.
Hello, I'm Sarah Fox, one of the kindergarten teachers here at Westside, the best side. And what my student has brought is her Avid binder. We work exclusively in this binder in my classroom to do one-pagers and two-column note-taking. It's also a great handwriting situation, and we use it, there's 3 to 6 pages per unit in our reading per every 3 weeks. So it's sectioned out, it's very organized, and the kids start off with I. And then right now they're using how and play and this and that and what and where, when, and all these other words. So you'll get to see that when Miss Alea comes up and shows you.
My binders are a little different. These are what we work out of all day long, from being able to log into our iPads, to working on our names, doing phonemic work and writing and math. I do have the one column and the two column, or one pagers and two columners in a different thing because we only work on those once a week. So this is what stays at their desk all day long.
And what's your favorite thing about the binders?
They're organized and they all know, they know how the order of our day goes because it, the very first thing they grab is their name book, and then from there they know what's coming next. We can go out for recess and come back and they know which book to grab. Sometimes I'll call them their folders and they remind me, what are they called? Binders. Yeah, they're workbook binders. So what I like the most about it is it keeps them organized all day long, and it's not a hot mess.
We're going to have them come up. We're going to have Alea, Renata, and McKenna come up and show you their binders real quick. You want to go up there, girls? Thank you, guys.
Want to show it to Dave and I? Oh, whoa. Wait a minute.
Is that you?
Oh, this is really neat. Oh, I see. These are the different books within it. Is that what it is? Okay, cool. Oh, wait a minute. Wow. That's okay. That's really good. And then you always know where it is, huh? Mm-hmm. So now, you know, all these virtual notes that they are you reading better now? It's really just one page. What kind of things do you like to read? Oh, this is really neat. Is there something else in here? Okay, show me what else you got. This is your writing one, huh? This is your writing, like, oh, very cool. That's great. You're writing a lot. Are you writing all these sentences yourself now?
Okay, kindergartners, thank you so much. Can we give our kindergartners a round of applause? One of the things I do want to do is kind of give a shout out to our other schools. Cascade Locks has led the way with some of our Avid work that we've done in this building. Another thing that I'm going to have Beth Jose come on up and talk just real quickly about our character trait assemblies, which we got this idea from Parkdale Elementary, so it's been real nice to lean into other principals and the work that they're doing in other buildings for Avid. And did you want to talk about the character trait or just go right into these?
We're going to go into the assembly.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna hand it over to Beth.
Hi, everyone. I'm Beth Jose, Student Support Specialist here at Westside. I partner with Leah Yost, and who could not be here tonight. This picture shows us at a monthly assembly. So our PBIS team this year made a goal to strengthen school-wide spirit and climate with monthly assemblies. Leah and I did some sleuthing around the district. We met with other SSS sports specialists in other elementary buildings in the district, and leaned on Aaron Peters and Nate Parsons at Parkdale, and they offered their framework for their assemblies. So we took that and ran with it and made it our own. And now we're holding popular end-of-month assemblies, and they're led by our 4th and 5th grade ambassadors. And I have some of those 5th grade ambassadors with us tonight, and they'll introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Lily Askins. And I'm Addison Hill. At the assemblies, we celebrate student successes, sing, give awards for our character traits of the month, and hand out the popular Golden Awards. This is another cool idea we borrowed from Parkdale Elementary. Classes can earn these for being respectful, responsible, and safe in music, PE, library, and the cafeteria, as well as SEL by keeping their classrooms clean.
Should we skip to the ambassadors? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're going to go in a little bit different order here.
Good evening. We are Wildcat Avid Ambassadors for Westside Elementary. The Ambassador Program has leadership roles that 4th and 5th grade students can apply for.
Upperclassmen to apply for an Avid Ambassador role. We fill out an application and commit to following classroom and school-wide expectations.
The rules that we can apply for include mentors, push-in mentors, morning mentors, DJs, news reporters for our newspaper, lost and found matchmakers, equipment managers, and inclusive advocates.
If we receive a position, we also get to help out in our monthly character trait assemblies. Being an ambassador is a great leadership and learning experience.
Good evening, and my name's Olivia Galizia. I'm a 5th grader in Mrs. Price's class. I served as a Wildcat Ambassador last term as a reporter for a school newspaper. Each week, I worked on articles about our monthly character traits, staff and student spotlights, and advice columns. We have a monthly edition that is shared with every classroom. I enjoyed being on the newspaper staff because I love to write, and writing for the column lets me express my own creativity while being prompted. And yeah.
Lily and I both work as morning mentors. As morning mentors, we get to greet students and help them transition to school, providing a little sunshine on those tougher mornings. We enjoy getting to know some of the younger students we help out in the morning. Our hope is to help people start their day off with a positive note. I love being a morning mentor because I love helping kids and it lights up their day so their day starts off good. And even my day is better starting out because of seeing their happiness in their faces. I enjoy being an Avid Ambassador because I love helping the younger students and it's fun having them look up to us.
Hello and good evening. I'm Kaya Torres. I am a fifth grader in Miss McGuffish's class. Last term, I was one of our DJ ambassadors, where I led the flag salute every Monday over the school speakers, along with other DJs. I also led the Friday song and made announcements for our school. This term, I have a push-in mentor where I'm joining a second grade classroom once a week to help students start and complete their schoolwork. I will be helping out the teacher in many ways while supporting some of the students in the classroom. I love being an avid ambassador because I love helping and leading others.
Hi, I'm Grant Hinman, and I am in Miss Price's 5th grade class. This is my first year at Westside, and I love being a part of the Avid Ambassador program. I'm a mentor this year. I am paired up with a second grader. Once a week, we work on activities and play games. It is a great way to build connections and a really fun part of my week. I was asked by Miss Leah and Miss Jose to read my ambassador application to you. My first question was, why would you like to become a Wildcat and ambassador? I would like to become a Wildcat ambassador because I want to help the school. Being an ambassador is very fun and I like responsibility. Being an ambassador was a highlight of my week and I would love to do it again. My second question was, why do you love being a student at Westside Elementary School? I love being a student at Westside because the teachers and staff are very kind and supportive. It is a very fun, safe environment to be in and I love being a part of the school. And my last question was, why do you think you would make a great mentor? I think I would make a great mentor because I'm really good with kids. It is also super fun. When I did it before, it brought me so much joy seeing my buddies. The buddies seem to love it too. I would also be a good mentor because I'm respectful and kind.
Please enjoy a quick video.
Do you guys want to, I might have you guys go sit down. Can we give these guys a
Oh, please, yes.
Thank you.
What are some examples of the golden awards that you guys pass out at your assemblies? What do you get?
A golden lunch tray if you're good like at lunchtime, like if you don't make a mess or like you can clean it up or something. Like give us some goals. We also have like a golden heart for SEL. Kindergarten through second grade if they can.
Because I just saw a picture of like an old running shoe that was painted gold and,
That one's for PE.
oh. Is that an award you'd want to get?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Everybody wants
A
those
stinky
awards.
golden running shoe. I like this place.
Our ambassadors and our SSSs put together this short video. I know we're a little over my time, but we are closing in on it, so enjoy this quick video.
In the beginning of the year, I had trouble coming to school, and now Lily and Addison helped me like get to school and have fun. And now I'm confident with going to school and getting there. I like mentors because it's fun and I have my buddy and you get to do like a lot of fun stuff. I did it this year, but it was like a little bit, and my teachers and Miss Jose signed me up, so it's really fun to do it with my buddy, and I get to hang out with my friend named Opie. I like having a mentor because we can go in Miss Jose's rooms and Miss Leah's room, and on the last day of mentors, we got popsicles. I like mentors because they're super nice, and also we get to play super fun games and also color every single Wednesday, and they're super nice. I like having a big buddy because I like working with someone older. I like mentors because they're fun.
Okay, thank you, mentors. We have just a couple more celebrations tonight before I hand it back to y'all. Sarah, can you come up real quick and just talk about our literacy night?
Sure. I'm Sarah Maddox. I'm the reading specialist here. And we were fortunate this year through grants from the Educational Foundation to be able to buy more high-quality decodable readers for our students that need some extra support in reading. So we had a family literacy night, our first one. Cascade Locks has been doing it for a few years, so we got the idea from them. And we invited our Reading Zone families to come for a night, and we went through with families, with parents, a reading routine where their ideas that they're reading with parents. So the first read, we're reading it together. Mom or dad is modeling the story. The second read, taking turns, each reading a page or a sentence. And the last read, we want the student to be reading it to their parents with support and just to get more practice at home. And it's been a really popular program. I'm there every day in the morning or after school. They have book bags. They bring them back and forth to school. We check more out, and they have a calendar, and we have incentives at the end of the month, and it's been a really neat program. So we're hoping to keep this going.
Thank you, Sarah. And then I also wanted to bring up Martha Dell. Martha wrote a grant this year to furnish a sensory room, and so she's going to talk a little bit about that with you all.
And in hindsight, the lady with the piece of paper maybe should have gone before all the amazing kids. But I am really excited about this project that we completed this year. And again, a shout out to the Education Foundation, which supported it through 2 years of grants. The classroom environment can be a source of overstimulation or understimulation for a lot of our students, particularly those with autism, ADHD, and sensory processing disorders. And we put together a truly collaborative effort with myself, the Structured Learning Center specialist here, our speech language pathologist, our district occupational therapist, a sensory room. And in this sensory room, as you can see, we have a variety of items from things for overstimulation, like a vibrating bean bags, mood lighting, touch to tap lights, to more heavy work like a roller slide, the barrel roll, vibrating platforms, a vibrating board, that helps bring regulation to our students. It can be a reward, can provide a break to recharge learning stamina, and also is allowing students with a wide variety of abilities and needs to play together and learn about each other in an environment where they wouldn't normally do so. We are also now moving on to partner with the community college's manufacturing department, and they'll be creating a framework for a swing for the room. And I just think it's really special the way so many people were able to come to the table and put together something that has already impacted our students with special needs, has expanded into providing tier 2 interventions for students, supported by our student support specialists and through our occupational therapists. And I'm really excited to see what more it can bring to our school over the next few years. So thank you.
Thank you. So you can tell how proud I am of this school. I have many more slides. I'm not going to get to them tonight, but I do encourage you to take a peek at them. I shared some slides of other activities that make Westside such a great space. And at the end, you'll see our school math and reading and attendance data. And the data is good. We work really hard. We support each other. We hold each other accountable. We have high expectations for our students. And it's all pieces of the puzzle: our social emotional learning, our academic learning, our students who are helping us meet these goals too, our ambassadors, all of the volunteers that come in and help and present. So please take a look at those other slides. I know I'm well over my time limit, but I appreciate all of our students who came to present to you tonight. I appreciate all my staff who helped me put together this slideshow, and we're here tonight to help celebrate. I'll go down through all my slides and go to my question slide. You're welcome. And any questions?
Any
Or
questions
comments?
for anybody?
Thank you for bringing everybody in. It always makes it really fun and enjoyable. I think this might be one of the biggest like groups of like teachers, kids, staff members, like, I mean, like, just really all of them coming together for one of these meetings. And I know it's really hard for parents to get their kids here, and we really appreciate it. But it's actually just really fun to see too. I mean, it's, and I think probably the most fun for me is that the board and the district really has kind of put a lot of time and effort into AVID, and writing specifically this year was a big goal for all the schools. And it's been, now we're coming to the end of the year and seeing all the schools and how they accomplished some of this. And I just really appreciate it seems like an entirely team effort that we see at some of the schools that we've seen about the district, where it's from K through 5, and like you guys really thought about it at the beginning and tried to implement it all the way through, and it seems that because of that, you're having a lot of success with it, and I know how hard that is and how much extra work that is, but it really does seem like the kids enjoy it, and they're learning so much, and they're doing well, and I just really appreciate all of the efforts that you all have put into it. So thank you very much for bringing all this today, but just for doing all the work you've done this whole year. So
Thank you.
I have 2 questions. Anybody else? Yeah, no? Good? Yes? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I would just like to mention, it's very heartwarming to hear about the collaboration with you and other elementary school principals about finding things that work and being solution-oriented. It's nice to hear you guys are working things out together.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Dang it, I should have gone before Dave.
Oh, did you steal your idea?
Yeah, one of them. I have a question for you guys. I'm really interested in this lost and found position. Yeah, so what, I have some time with your lost and found here from when my son went to school here. So how's that work? How does that work for you?
There's these people, like 4th and 5th graders. I don't know if it's 4th graders, just 4th graders this trimester, or just 5th graders this trimester, but like it's one of those. And they go through the lost and found, and if there's a coat with a name on them or something like that, they'll track them down and go to their classroom and be like, here's your coat, or here's your sock.
That's awesome.
It's also color-coded by color.
People, it gets into the lost and found if like people leave it somewhere and someone else finds it and then they put it in the lost and found.
Well, if you find one that says Joe Wrights on it, I would love to get it back. Thank you, guys. That's a really neat thing that you do. It's kind of it seems funny, but it really does help out a lot of parents and families to locate things that they probably didn't want to lose. So that's an awesome thing. And then Ms. Kuykendall, for you and for your team, I really appreciate the comment that you made about the SIP review, because I think that's something that we put these plans into action, and you really don't want to wait an entire year to see if they have worked. And so I appreciate your team going through that and sort of saying like, hey, what works, what doesn't work, what should we shift, what do we need to change? So I just wanted to call that out.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
your
guys.
attendance rates are good.
Well, people want to come here.
That's right. They want to come to school. It's fun.
All
Why
right.
wouldn't you West Side's the best side?
It is.
Thank
All
you,
right,
guys.
thank you guys so much. All right. All right, we're next going to have Equity Advisory Committee report with Columba Jones.
Kids in action, but that's okay, because they are absolutely the purpose of us being here and all of the work that we do. So it's great to get to see them showcase those pieces. Okay.
You can always sing a little, Columba.
Oh, man, I might make you run. I don't know if you want me to do that.
It's a pretty catchy tune.
It was awesome. Mr. Newton
Okay,
sing that.
so Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm here just to give you a quick brief update on the work that the Equity Advisory Committee has been engaging in this year, and a little background as to how this advisory committee came about. So, okay, this happens every time there it is, okay. So last year was the first year that this committee was formed, and it was formed with the original intent of Senate Bill 732, which was sent out to ensure that every school district had a committee that was really looking into policy, system structures, and that we were being equitable with what we were bringing forth, right? And that really just means making sure that all of our students are getting exactly what they need in order to reach their full potential. And so in that initial rollout, the goal was for this committee to come to play and advise the school board through some dialogue throughout the year on practices that had been implemented or community feedback in those pieces. Little shift happened last year in 2025 with the House bill that came through, and the shift in the format was not so much to only make recommendations to the board, but to go through our superintendent and advise. So we're in a little bit of that transition phase, but really the main goal, again, is to look at our systems, ensure that we're centering our students or families in community voice, and that when we do identify barriers that we may not have seen before, that we make recommendations as to how to correct that or what changes we can make there. So again, this advisory group is a 13-member group. We're down one this year, but it really was formed with student perspective. We have students on the board, we have staff on the board, and then we have community members and organization leaders in that board as well. And so it really was brought together to make sure that the perspectives offered are diverse, and I believe you all had a role in selecting those candidates last year when they came through to that board. That was initially how that was established. That Equity Advisory Committee had as a focus area three main areas. So really ensuring that they're looking at our curriculum, that they're looking at our supports for students and families, and that we're looking at any systemic barriers that may be there. This year, that committee really focused on addressing access for our families and students experiencing disabilities on IEPs and their experience throughout that whole process. And the reason for that was because there is feedback around that very topic, right? We are in a situation where we need to make some changes. We have some disproportionate outcomes where we have our Hispanic and Latino community members and students that are being identified with an IEP at a much higher ratio than their peers, right? So right now it's like a 3-to-1, and that's a big offset there. So this committee is exploring, why did that happen? What do we need? How do we need to make sure our families are informed, our students are being supported? What is getting in the way? And through that feedback, these are just some of the thoughts that came through, right? So needing support groups, feeling like kiddos need, in addition to personalized support, stronger needs for just like mental health and physical needs, not easy to find resources, and things being ready kind of at the beginning of the year. And in addition to that, like, how can we still continue to create networks to support each other when we are going through processes like this? And when you looked at all of those, really, it came down to 4 kind of big areas, right? It's difficult to navigate. So the world of special education is very complex and elaborate, and it's hard to navigate. And so sometimes being able to access all of the supports becomes inconsistent if you don't have someone that can come through and look for things or maybe speak the language. And that creates communication gaps, right? So when our kids are going through this process, sometimes our parents may not know which channels to get through or who to contact to learn more about this. And so then it feels like we're maybe reacting more than supporting that process. And so what this committee did is think through, okay, if these are all the things that are happening, what is one tool or support that we can recommend or advise that we start to look into? And there is a tool that was provided by Fact Oregon that's like a one-pager. And this one-pager really allows a little bit of a thought process to go into when you're interviewing or bringing in a parent into an IEP meeting. And you allow this conversation to happen in a more natural setting versus having the parent come into this initial meeting, being surrounded by a group of individuals at a table and not feeling like they're able to participate or engage in dialogue. And the intent of this tool was to say, okay, how do we take some of the questions that might come up, give parents an opportunity to say, this is what my child is great at, here are some of the strengths, here are the hopes that I have for my child, here are some of the questions that are coming up, and almost give them a kind of opportunity to have that dialogue and conversation and have questions so that they feel prepared and a little bit just more in control of that piece when they're coming into that meeting, right? It's not that we don't want that to happen, it's just it's a 45-minute of an IEP meeting where you're talking through all of these academic terms, and it's a whole nother language, and so it takes time to process that. And so we wanted for our families to be prepared with these pieces. And so really, in the end run, it just really strengthens our teams, right? It allows for that two-way communication to happen and a true partnership between parents and our teams at school to better find out what supports we need for our kids to move them forward and so they can all reach their full potential. Another thing that we looked at was how we can give some recommendations around just additional family learning sessions and opportunities, right? So last year they were able to offer a session with Fact Oregon that came in and offered information in Spanish to our families via our Migrant Ed department. This year we also offered a couple of sessions around just family preparedness and knowing your rights training. And we want to continue those because I think that the more opportunities that you give families to interact with each other and ask questions in an environment where they feel free to do so is going to build that empowerment and allow them to just develop those advocacy skills to be able to better navigate our systems. And then it allows us to see, okay, where do we have some of these gaps that we need to shore up? In addition to that, you know, really the Equity Advisory Committee is doing work in creating pieces, but they're also responding to things that are coming up. And so, for example, this year we have had some pretty turbulent times, and we had an opportunity in one of our sessions to talk through what is happening with our kiddos, how are they feeling, they're not feeling safe in certain situations, what are we doing about that, what are some concerns that are rising for our families, what's some input that we can gather from this committee, what are they hearing in our community, and how are we addressing that as a school district. And that was something we were able to do around the December meeting time with our families as well. So really all that to sum up that, you know, our kind of advice recommendation is that we just continue to expand access for our family and resources. So taking our current practices and saying, what other tool can we utilize to break this down, to make that more accessible, right? You think about that in instruction, just in the general classroom. You saw that with AVID. That is a program full of scaffolding and strategies to give kids the formula and a pathway to reach their full potential. And it's the same type of lens that we need to look at when we're thinking about how to support our community and our families to make sure that they are informed and they can advocate for things that are taking place. So also just strengthening our communication systems between our multilingual families and us, creating that two-way feedback loop, right? We have a lot of task force and work groups and feedback areas, but this advisory committee is another element to that to ensure that we're going through another layer of feedback and input when things are happening. So building support networks, and then again, thinking through that family-centered approach when developing tools for our families, and always highlighting, like, how do we continue to expand on our culturally responsive practices, which really just means, are we really listening to what our families need? Are we responding? Are we seeing them? Do they see themselves in our system? And how are we being strategic with our response so that they are growing and achieving and getting to where they need to be, regardless of what our starting point is, right? It's giving everybody what they need to be successful. So next steps for this advisory committee, again, is just to continue to learn about things that are coming up with our community and our families, We're going to continue to review some of our policies that we bring up. We all have experience sitting here and looking at policy revisions, and those often change, and it'll be an opportunity for us to look at those through another lens and see, you know, what input we're missing maybe in some of those pieces. Also, when we're thinking things like curriculum adoptions, what elements are we missing there? Like, are our families represented? Is this, you know, information that we can access in different forms and formats? And then also just continuing that to, I think the more input that we get on some of those pieces, we can remove some of those barriers that are there, not on purpose, that what we inadvertently miss sometimes. So we look forward to having opportunities to embed a few more of those next year. So that's all I have for you. Questions?
I have a question. Like, so the one pager, did you already institute that, or is that just
No,
a
that's a
recommendation?
draft. It's a working draft, so we're still finalizing, revising that. And then it's talking through that in the committee, but then also sharing that with buildings around what does this actually look like in practice, and how do we make sure that, you know, when we do explore or pilot this, we can do that successfully with people. So this is like a starter committee to look at some of those, and then of course reaching out to our superintendent and our schools and leadership voice to say, here's what we're coming to you with, here's some input. Do we do this? How do we do this? We think it could help in these areas.
Have you looked at like what they're doing at like other places or programs for that type of thing, like with that communication, early communication? Because I do think that that's really would be amazingly helpful for your IEPs and those types of things. Because I think your committee hit on something very, very right, in that a lot of times there's so much for like the school to get through and all of that it's not as much a discussion in how we can help, but like there's all these things like that are happening, and we kind of forget all the amazing things that that child can do, right? And so it can be really hard on families. And so, I mean, I love this idea of having the one pager. I know that in some of like the early special education, and that is like some of what they bring into it early. Are there other things like in other districts where they're doing stuff like this with like your one pager that for IEPs?
You know, we haven't taken it out to see what other districts are doing. What I can tell you is that within our district, our special education director, Kelly Running, is really looking into some of our systems and practices and developing some just additional feedback and guidance for us. Also, she joins our committee as well and helps to convey information back and forth in terms of where we're going and things that we need to be looking at. So it's an initial process. We're not done with it, but I do think it is a good idea to always look out to bigger districts to see what is happening, what, you know, tools are happening. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's really what we were hoping, like the committee would kind of bring to it, and it's great that you guys are finding these areas that we can get better with. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I had one question.
Sure.
And this is more kind of just about the committee.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's only been a couple years, and but is the feedback on the committee, like, is the committee working the way that the committee wants to be working? Like, do they feel like they are actually having a voice, they are able to do what their charge was?
With this tool and what we were doing with it, I believe, yeah, I mean, it definitely came from the 3 focus areas, and after exploring, you know, some of our data and where we're at as a district. Moving forward, our next meeting part of that process will be, here's what that looks like moving forward, and absolutely an opportunity to get their voice and what else is coming up that we can do. One thing that came up this year that we're definitely looking into for next year is, what do we happen when things just happen outside of a scheduled meeting, right? Because things don't happen on a schedule, right? Initiatives sometimes have to happen pretty quickly, draft guidance has to go, or uncertain times happen in a community, and how can we respond quicker to that as a committee? So some of what I will help to share the next meeting is maybe we need to have a few more standing meetings where it may not be that we need it, but it's on the calendar and it's reserved in case something does come up. Right now, it's set as a quarterly meeting So not a whole bunch of time, and it takes time to do some of this work. So that was a suggestion in terms of like, how are we responding immediately when things are happening? And so to address that, yeah, we're looking at that meeting schedule and format.
I wonder if there isn't somehow we also could engage just on, coming to meetings and listening to comments and reports and whatnot, and then also being able to offer that lens for some of those, things that, again, we're not necessarily hearing but that, are being offered up, and how we should also be looking through that. So anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think there's definitely opportunity to learn through, comments that are shared, right? Because that highlights either how we need to come together to do more on explaining certain pieces, or gather more input and have different solutions for pieces. So I think that is definitely a platform to be explored as well. Yeah.
Have you guys done any, I'm just thinking, because I had some experience with IEP with one of my daughters, like an equity advisory fair, so where like the community or just that information is out there as well?
Not a fair, but that part of like the family listening learning session through Fact Oregon was to accomplish that, bring in more of our families to learn more through a different organization that also has additional resources. So there is, slated to be more opportunities for that, but I think that there could be another way to bring in different resources and have a little bit more of an open fair concept or an
I was thinking
opportunity.
maybe even of bringing families who have had experience, like sort of like a meeting sort of like this, and if they wanted to go and have, I don't know, somebody to talk, because when I was going through IEP, I had no knowledge of it, so just having those out there is
Opportunities to bring families in and learn about the process and then walk them through some of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks so much, Klumba.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
So much.
All right, we're going to bring Gus Hegberg up to do a wellness grant update report.
I'm going to invite up any wellness committee members who'd like to join me. Come on up. Well, I think we have 3 in the audience. So, Madam Chair, members of the board, so glad to be here to talk about our Hood River County School District Wellness Committee and the Education Employee Wellbeing Grant. So this is a grant that's provided by the Oregon Wellbeing Trust, and I wanted to read their mission because I think it describes really what the purpose of it is well. From their program, they write, "Our mission focuses on empowering cultures of well-being within education workplaces, specifically for the adult employees themselves, providing financial support, resources, partnership, and opportunities for connection, empowers education communities to practice community care and shift norms toward what people need to feel valued and cared for." So with that, just a brief overview of the grant program. As a reminder, it's a 5-year grant that we were awarded that started this year, so we get to enjoy 4 more years. $250,000 total over that time span. And our focus, I'm going to get to introduce you to all of our wellness committee members, but it is really on site-based wellness. So we have representatives in each of our schools and departments, and they're really taking the lead on what wellness looks like in their place. So generally speaking, our focus is primarily on connection and community. And really that self-selection, so finding what works for you. Those are, we cover a lot of things, but that's really those are the hallmarks. And then we have monthly themes that just kind of organize us a little bit. Some examples, we might have a month that's focused on physical health or mental health, financial, etc. So with that, this is the list of our committee members. And so we have Mary Bergen from HROA, Aaron Gehrig at the Transportation Department, Danielle Herndon at Cascade Locks, Sarah Hayden at the Co-Building, Jean Welsh and Meredith Cole at Pine Grove, Kristen Marble at Westside, Madeline Ellsworth and Erin Peters at Parkdale, Stacy Klaus at HRMS, Pam Turley at May Street, Stephanie Perkins at Mid-Valley, Evelyn Herrera at Y East, and Carly Borton also supports at HROA, and then Jim Donnelly has been supporting for the high school. So really a great team, really passionate people for supporting their colleagues and looking out for our team of adult employees. So just as I mentioned, it's really site-based, and so this is a short list of some of the many things that are happening throughout the school district, and then our reps who are here can share a little bit more specifics about what's happening in their department. So to start with, we had a wellness fair at the beginning of the year. Emily Martin helped us organize this, and we had 20 partners from around our community, healthcare partners, service providers come in and donate time and provide during our district in service a lunchtime opportunity to get to know resources, and they provided prizes, and it was just a really, really nice collaboration. I have some photos of some of these things as well, but you know, staff workouts are happening, staff room refreshes. We've had massage chairs purchased and used. You'll see a photo of that. Healthy and sometimes not so healthy snacks, those are great too. Potlucks and celebrations, wellness bingo, lots of really, really fun stuff. And I'll pause there to provide a chance for our reps who are here just to share maybe a highlight or two from their individual site or department. Jean?
Sure. I'm Jean Welch, and I work all over the school district, but my home base is Pine Grove. And yeah, Pine Grove, I feel like every school has a community of educators, and the more we collaborate and celebrate each other and honor that our health is just as important as the kids we work with is really important. So our group, which we have a lot tonight, we've done a lot of art. You know, even though I'm a physical therapist and emphasize like, oh, the step challenge, we also do a lot of just like group painting and potlucks and just celebrate working with each other.
I think it's funny that I'm wearing my McDonald's shirt. I just currently finished my shift making fries there from Mid-Valley. So my name's Stephanie Perkins. I'm at Mid-Valley, and I've actually been in the district for 29 years. I love it here. I chose to use our money to kind of renovate our staff room. So we have a water machine and a couch, and we did coffees and teas and snacks, and so puzzles. So it's been fun because according to our Upbeat survey, I think we needed to focus kind of more on connections and people just feeling welcome and cared for. So we do the monthly, we always have monthly challenges, but they're kind of all over the place. We're talking about ways to be grounded, mental health, you know, how to increase your dopamine and serotonin, how to eat healthier, just all kinds of tips for just how to feel better. So, and movement is one piece of many. So I think I feel really fortunate because our staff is really involved and really connected, and so it's been fun just to, I don't know, involve everybody. So I really like the committee. It's been a great committee to be on. So.
My name is Sarah Hayden, and I'm the wellness coordinator at the Co-Building. And we have really focused on staff connection. There's actually research to show that if you feel connected to your colleagues, you actually are more productive and your work output increases. And so at the Co-Building, one of the first things that we did is the ice maker in the refrigerator was broken. And if you know anything about educators, you know that they like to stay hydrated. And so there was a request from our team to put in an ice maker. And I did not know it would change my life, but having ice in the water actually makes me drink more every day. In addition to that, the reason why Gus put not so healthy snacks in our slideshow is because we held a March Munchie Madness bracket in the month of March, and all of our favorite snacks went head to head. And all of the staff members would come into the staff lounge and vote on their favorite snack. Mark was a real fan of gummy bears, although they didn't quite make it. They made it to the Final Four. They didn't quite make it to the end. In the end, it was Reese's versus chips, and potato chips ultimately won out in the end. So, but it was great to see everyone was talking about it. Every time you went to the staff room or the bathroom, the team in the tech department was like, who's going to be the upset this week? So that was really fun. And if you're ever at the Co-Building in the next few days, come down to the staff lounge. We're having the HRCSD Great Meme Off. They're all school appropriate. But Mark is also worth a million laughs down there. So again, just ways to bring connections and build those bonds between our colleagues, and that's really what the wellness grant has afforded us at the Co-Building. And not only that, I really love working with the other wellness coordinators from across the school district. I stole Stacy Klaus's Healthy Bingo, and it's really nice to be able to collaborate in that spirit of wellness across our whole district.
Yeah, so thank you so much for sharing. I'm thinking of like an iceberg. That's the tip of the iceberg. All 16 or however many there are of us could be here to share about things that are happening. There's just amazing and unique things happening all over. So, there are a few more things, examples that, if you're in a school, you might get a glimpse of. May Street has a staff pet photo board that they're bringing in, photos of their pets. Kindness activities where you send a compliment to a colleague. You mentioned the March Munchie Madness bracket. Paint nights, pickleball. Here at Westside, they're really getting into pickleball here, I understand. So here are some photos of some of those things. Take a look. There, Hood River Middle School did a cross-country skiing outing. The Parkdale staff did the polar plunge. Staff workouts are happening. There's a Mid-Valley shot of the staff doing yoga together. Parkdale staff workout. Staff room and workspace upgrades, as I mentioned. So there's some photos of the Mid-Valley staff lounge that Stephanie talked about. There's the massage chair at HRMS. They used a chunk of their funds for that. Y-East did a staff upgrade. That's that panoramic photo there. And then top right is at Pine Grove. They got UV lights for staff. So that's something to get through those darker months. Again, here, this is the Pine Grove staff here. They did a mindfulness and art activity with professional mindfulness expert Emily Martin. Parkdale's Secret Staff Spirit Day. And again, just that sense of belonging, bringing people together. Sarah spoke eloquently about the research that speaks to that. Our first potluck it was a birthday celebration for Bill, and the theme was bring a balloon for Bill. So you can see Bill there with all the balloons.
Anything but a birthday balloon. So you couldn't bring a birthday balloon. That's why you got the chicken leg down there and the cowboy boot.
So Stephanie mentioned the Upbeat survey, and I won't go through all this in great detail, but I just wanted you to be aware that the Upbeat survey it really is helping to guide our work in wellness for staff. It provides us information in a lot of different areas of growth for our district, but it's especially helpful to hear about how staff are feeling about work. And so as you dig into this, and I'd be happy to sit down and share more, but so some of the themes that come out with related to health and wellness are around school safety and order. And so this is an example of comparing our own scores from one year to the next. And the column on the right shows growth. So that's one, I'd say, a highlight of something that we can see. When you look at row 7 there, that one's appreciation. And while we grew 6 points, still 73% or 27% gave a negative score related to appreciation. So it's the sort of thing that we can celebrate, but also recognize areas of growth. And it's been really helpful for this team to dig into that, and it's really guided our work. So again, you'll see more comparisons for one year to the next for licensed staff. We can also look at classified staff. It's an important part of the grant is to identify different groups of our staff, not only by classification, but also gender and ethnicity. So we look at that level to make sure everybody's feeling included and well. And then the other thing the Upbeat survey does, as you may know, is we can compare to national clusters and Oregon clusters. So this is a comparison to Oregon, and generally speaking, from a wellness perspective, we do well when we compare to the Oregon groups. With that, we'd love to entertain any questions that you might have.
Seems like it's really fun, like, and that it's been a successful. This is the second year, or just the first year of the actual first year?
This is the first year of. We had a smaller grant last year, kind of a kickstart grant. This is the first year of the more robust grant.
Yeah, that's actually. I mean, I think that's a wonderful, and it's wonderful to be able to use funds to kind of really focus on connection within each area. And it's neat to look about like how each of you did different things and like picked different things that you felt like would be the most successful with your schools and or your programs. So that's wonderful. It's really neat.
How did you guys decide, like when you decided to do like the staff room, did you just kind of put out feelers to your building? Like how'd you decide what to use your money for?
I kind of surveyed the building, and then once I did that, just kind of figured out what things they wanted in the staff room. So, yeah, everyone kind of took a different approach. So, yeah,
that's great.
You have good ideas for next year?
If you have any, share.
We also do kind of monthly, I don't know if you call them challenges, but they say if you set your own goals, like I want to have dinner with my family at least 2 nights a week, so that month you would set your own goal, and then you check, the staff fill out a calendar, and then there's little incentives just for participation. So it's individual goals and kind of school by school connections.
It's really neat. Thanks for getting off that grant off the run and actually being able to.
Gus has done a ton of work in organizing the grant, organizing us. He sends out a flyer that's district-wide every month that kind of focuses us on a certain area of wellness. All of the swag prizes that are all HRCSD specific, he purchased and hands out every month to all of the wellness committee members to hand them out to their staff. So the work that Gus and the HR department has done has also been like Herculean, and to make sure that the grant is successful. So it's a big team effort for sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much for applying.
It's a highlight for me, so thank you. Thank you.
Guys.
Okay, thank you.
All right, our last report is from Christy Christopher, and it is the Parks and Rec Department bond levy measure update.
Hello. Hello, Madam Chair and members of the board. Thank you for the chance to be here. There are a couple slides in your packet, but for sake of time, I'm not going to pull those up because I'm here just to give you a quick update on a few things that have, I guess, changed since I saw you in January. So those 3 things are the ballot measures have been confirmed, filed, approved. They will be on the ballot for bond and levy. The board of directors of Parks and Rec has identified what cuts will need to occur if particularly the levy does not pass. And then also just to give you a heads up that both the capital campaign that will complement a successful bond and the advocacy campaign have launched. So just a couple points to say on each of those things. For the ballot measures, we landed on I think as you know, a rebuilt pool on the same location, showed you the concept drawing last time I was with you. Something to call out there is that we are taking a phased approach, and what we mean by that is that we will make sure to have the finalized architectural designs and cost estimates before the full bond is borrowed, so that we can make sure to be doing that with really precise numbers. And that was, in response to feedback for people that, want to make sure that we're not borrowing more than is necessary. So that's a key piece about the bond proposal. The final number is $40.36 million. The mill rate is 64 cents per thousand, which is actually about half the mill rate of the previous proposal. For the levy's in a way pretty straightforward. It's for 3 categories of things. One is for helping to maintain parks and trails that Parks and Rec takes care of. Right now the maintenance level is really just reactive. And then the other 2 things are making sure to keep the pool open. And then most importantly, I guess, to me personally, I will say keeping community recreation going. On the cut side, that's the toughest thing to share, but if the levy does not pass, the things that are expected to be cut are parks and trail maintenance will be reduced. That's kind of the toughest one because it's already at such a low level, but that would be reduced. And so things like, fixing a fence or a downed tree after a storm will likely take longer. For the pool, we will need to be closing the pool 1 to 2 days a week, roughly year-round. Those days are still to be determined if we have to come to that point. And then the toughest one to say is that we will need to close down community recreation at the end of the summer if the levy does not pass. And so that's the maybe kind of hard news. The good news is that there is a robust advocacy campaign going on. I have a handout for you from that group so that you can see what will be used for canvassing, and also that the capital campaign has had a soft launch for the $2 million campaign for enhancements to make it a more welcoming space for the community. That is all I wanted to make sure to update you on, but I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Any questions down there?
I just wanted to say thank you for coming and updating us. I think too, if there's more, it sounds like I know we have the whole committee now, but if there's other things that community members or other people can do to get word out and make sure that people understand how important the bond and levy will be to really recreation throughout the entire Hood River County. So that would be great. So.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just talking to people, talking to people about why it's important, what it is. I've had my own dad who has lived here for decades and decades and decades say, like, wait, can explain what is community ed, what is community recreation, like what are all the things, and his own children were in it. So it's really important that people help others understand what that involves and what is done at the pool too.
Well, we are, after your report, we're gonna move right into a letter of support that we're going to vote on whether we're going to sign it. But the reason that, we felt like it was so important to bring forward is that unlike some things, everything affects our community, but this is really important. This is a very collaborative relationship between the district and Parks and Rec. We have sports teams that use the pool. We would not be able to have a swim team or a water polo team without that relationship. We, have swimming lessons that are given to a large proportion of our student population with a collaboration with Education Foundation and the pool and the district. And I just think that this for us is just such a, it's such a good relationship. And then not to mention the Parks and Rec, the offerings for community, especially the children's activities, sports and activities. And everybody knows that for a long time that was under the umbrella of the district, and it really was collaboration to get that into Parks and Rec where it really does belong, and we supported that. And because we understand how important that is to all of our community. Like you said, your own kids are in it, and its grandkids in it, or whatnot, neighbors. And so just the explanation in some ways to the community on why we are so engaged in this is that it really is something that has a huge impact on our students. So, and a lot of our staff too that swim and have kids that do that too as well. So I really appreciate you coming in and talking to us and explaining to us kind of what your plan is, and yeah,
You're welcome.
getting the information out there.
And yeah, thank you for the opportunity and for the many years of partnership.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just give you a quick handout.
You bet.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you, Christy.
Thanks, Christy. Appreciate it. All right, so that does end our reports, and we will move right into our first action item is bond and levy letter of support for the parks for the May ballot. And if you all have gotten a chance to read that and would like to make a motion, I would take one of those.
I move to approve the letter of support signed by Board Chair Chrissy Wrights on behalf of the board as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, so it was a motion by Dave and a second by Corinda. Any other questions for me, or Christy still here?
No, thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, Monica.
Aye.
And Corinda.
Aye.
And Dave.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, so that passes, and best of luck. Yeah, thank you. Okay, we will move on then to, I think Gus has our next one. It is a resolution 2526/06 for the Licensed Employee Appreciation Week.
Madam Chair, members of the board, I'm humbled to be here to ask you to consider Resolution 252606, and it's specifically for Licensed Education Appreciation Week, Licensed Educator Appreciation Week, happening the first week of May, and I'd like to go ahead and read the resolution. Whereas educators mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas educators encounter students of widely differing backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas educators spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluation progress, counseling and coaching students, and performing community service, whereas Hood River County School District educators, in their commitment to excellence, every student, every day, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of this community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Hood River County School District Board of Directors proclaims May 4th through 8th, 2026 to be Licensed Educator Appreciation Week. And be it further resolved that the Hood River County School District Board of Directors strongly encourages all members of our community to join with it in personally expressing appreciation to our teachers for their dedication and devotion to their work.
Thank you, Gus. All right, any questions for Gus? Is there a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 25-26/06, Licensed Employee Appreciation Week to honor our licensed staff members.
I'll second it.
Okay, so that's a motion by Corinda, a second by Monica. Any other questions or comments?
Just glad to do this.
I would just say, I know that there are a lot of really fun things that go on at the schools during this week, and it's just fantastic. Our PTOs, I think, really step up, and the admin does a great job of really recognizing our teachers. But I just wanted to say from the board chair that we really, all of those things that Gus read, we know to be true, and we just really appreciate our licensed staff in this district. And I am lucky enough to be able to go around the state and see lots of different districts, and I mean, we're the best, and I can just say that out loud. But we really do. We have amazing licensed staff and teachers in this district. So thanks from all of us. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, we gotta vote.
We gotta vote.
Monica.
Aye.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
All right, that passes. Thanks, Gus. All right, next, Amy McConnell's going to come up and talk about social studies materials curriculum adoption. Oh, and Sarah, too.
Madam Chair, members of the board, we could not let a year go by without coming before you to talk about curriculum adoption. So here we are.
Here we are.
So we come before you tonight to get your approval for our 6-12 social studies adoption. Before I turn it over to the resident
curriculum adoption extraordinaire, I do just want to remind you that we decided to postpone our K-5 social studies adoption for a couple of reasons. One of those is our elementary teachers. They are really in an adoption cycle every year. So they're coming off the heels of the health adoption, and we really wanted to explore some opportunities to integrate our social studies standards into our ELA curriculum and then some other programs that we have. So we wanted to take some time to do that next year. So we just wanted to remind you of that. So we'll be talking tonight about the 6-12. With that, I'll turn it over to you, girl. Thanks. Our district instructional coach and curriculum coordinator, Sarah Hayden.
Oh, thanks, Amy.
And here's all that. If you want it.
Yeah, so we had a wonderful adoption committee with members of the board that were involved for 6-12. And we really feel as though the adoption has yielded some really exciting new opportunities for our students and teachers across the district. At the 6th grade level, they ended up hearing from 3 different vendors, choosing one to pilot. And the feedback they received yesterday at our adoption committee, as well as feedback from students and members of our community, was resounding. That they really appreciate the simulations, hands-on activities in the product that they have chosen, which is TCI. TCI is Teacher
Curriculum Institute.
Curriculum Institute. It's right here.
Got it,
It's on the
Dave.
paper. I wrote it down.
Good job, board member.
We have
As well as at the high school. The high school team had almost every member of the social studies department involved, as well as members of our ELD teachers and so forth. And they've actually landed on 2 different options. Our team with geography really loved those TCI materials, but our history teachers are exploring, or have chosen the Nat Geo product, National Geographic, which is a new textbook. It's produced by Cengage, which is a curriculum company that we have partnered with in the past. And so we're really excited about it. The teachers appreciated the readability of the text. They also appreciated its culturally responsiveness. In addition, they really appreciated the partnership between National Geographic, so they highlight explorers and they have videos that really bring that social studies alive into the classroom. So they appreciated that, and we're really excited to move forward. We also piloted a financial literacy curriculum, which is a new course at the high school. And the state had adopted a few options, but the one that we have chosen is Nucleus, and it provides students with amazing opportunities not only to learn about financial literacy, but to practice it. They get to keep a checkbook. They get to, not really, but simulations, exchange stocks on the stock market. And so the teacher is really confident that those materials will continue to provide really good materials as the course moves forward and it grows. And so with that, we're really proud of the work of the adoption committee. I cannot thank the teachers enough. They have been amazing. We even had a partnership with the Columbia Gorge ESD, because all of the districts within the region are adopting social studies. And we were able to sit down with all of the products that we were looking at as an entire region, sit down with members of the tribal community, members of our teaching force came. We also, last year, were able to take a lot of our teachers down to investigate the new social studies standards in detail alongside the Oregon Department of Education. So this process has been long, it's been vast, and we really believe that we've done our due diligence in the way of adopting curriculum that supports our community, our teachers, and our students. At the community engagement event on Monday night, we actually had a member of the community that works at the museum in Cascade Locks. And so this particular community member had students within our district, but also has a love for social studies. And to be able to glean her feedback was really exciting as we engaged with the community during this process. So,
It's really
any
exciting.
questions?
Yeah, any questions?
I was just really appreciative to be a part of the committee, only able to attend a couple of the meetings.
Yeah.
But the fact that the time and dedication that the teachers put into scrutinizing a lot of material My hat's off to them.
And even more members outside of the committee piloted. So our adoption committee kind of went through the whole process, but then their teammates alongside them piloted the curriculum in classrooms with our students, really to make sure that it was the best choice.
And knowing nothing about a social studies curriculum, you guys selected the ones that were most impressive to me.
Really?
I feel validated. Thank
Yes.
you.
Dave approves.
Well, you have a stamp that we're gonna, gonna get it made. I wanted to just, oh, sorry, did you start talking?
Well, Monica was a
No.
member of our committee as well.
Oh, sorry.
Attended a couple as well, but it's really neat to see all the teachers come together and talk about it and
Yeah.
just really focus into it and decide which one to use, so, thank you.
Yeah, no.
And I really appreciate the thoughtfulness in holding back on the elementary schools, because I think it, you know, it's a little easier when you actually have a social studies class, and they don't do that in elementary school. So being able to integrate it into what they're already teaching, I think is just, it's great and a kind way to do that. So thanks for being so thoughtful about that and making sure that we kind of service what the teachers' needs are as well. Yeah. Okay, if there's no other comments or questions, I would take a motion.
I moved.
You go. You go ahead, you were in the committee.
He's excited.
You guys don't
He's
fight.
excited. You got this one.
I move to approve the adoption of social studies instructional materials for grades 6 through 12, including Teachers Curriculum Institute and National Geographic Learning by Cengage, and Nucleus Financial Literacy, with total expenditures not to exceed $400,000.
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion by Dave, a second by Monica. We asked our questions, are there any more? All right, Monica.
Aye.
Corinda.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you, guys, then thank you to the committee as well.
And keep it in mind, next year's world languages, if anyone is interested.
Art, PE, music.
And world languages.
Not much.
And world languages.
Awesome, thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I think-
Okay.
Can I say one thing? I should have said it before, but I mean, I just, you don't have to stay up there. You know, like, we do put money each year into these new curriculum adoptions, and, you know, when I first started on the board, we hadn't in a while, like, we had, like, been unable to do that, and I don't know that if everybody knows that we went through a, pretty rough time, and even before that time, and so, you know, we hadn't bought buses, and we hadn't, done curriculum adoptions, and, there was a lot that we had to kind of, to give up, and it's one of the reasons why we've really made efforts to make sure that we're on a schedule every year of a different adoption, so all of those get looked at every 7 years. And so, you know, we're not spending 10 or 15 years with an adoption that's now out of date. And it is a cost to do that, but I think it is really an important one to keep continuing, recognizing that those updates are really actually very important for ongoing, because our world changes, and we can't really have a social studies curriculum from 15 years ago because the things are not the same. So, so that is really important to recognize, and we do put a lot of, and the whole district administrative and staff, everybody puts a lot of effort into it because it really does make a difference with our children. So.
And we are very fortunate, you know, that the literacy that is required now, or the financial literacy course that is required now in all high schools in Oregon. You know, if you don't have a team that really is robust, it's really hard to adopt something like that just off a cuff, and so we are super fortunate.
Amy and I went to a conference last week, and they were talking about HQIM, and they were like, does anybody know what that means? And Amy and I were like, yes, we do. And it stands for high quality instructional materials. And they were talking about the research behind the importance of high quality instructional materials as a lever for student achievement. And so for our school district to recognize the necessity of high quality instructional materials makes me and Amy really proud that we are part of this district and that it is a value of ours.
And Robert's rules are just out the door at this point because we've already motioned voted.
I know, I'm so sorry. I messed it up. I apologize.
I will say, and I do blame Corinda.
I know, you can totally blame
I
me.
will say too, though, that, you know, staff and teacher efficacy is also one of the biggest markers of student success. And so if you do a curriculum adoption without including input from your teachers, you're never going to get that. And so it is so important what you guys do, and what these committees do, because then you really are getting the people who are going to be doing the work, deciding on what the work is. And I promise that it will work out better when you do that. So yeah, it really is not, it does not go unnoticed how important these are and how well they are run in this district. Yeah.
Although it would have been nice if they'd had the financial literacy for them also to like reimburse districts for adding that.
Oh, it would have been nice, Corinna.
So
That would have been
so awesome.
To give money to things that you mandate.
That would be great.
Interesting. All right, the opinion part of our meeting is
right.
now.
Sorry.
Actually, it's just
That is so horrible.
beginning. All right, we're gonna move on to our thank you very much, you guys. We're gonna move on to the last action item, which is acceptance of donations. And again, we just have an incredibly generous two people tonight. Schlosser Machine donated $1,000 to Hood River Middle School. And Joanne Von Lupkin donated $500 to Hood River Middle School, and I believe that was so that both, my computer is not working now. But I think that both of those went to having the robotics teams be able to go to the World Championships in Missouri, and that is just awesome. It really is so cool that we have two people in our town that saw that how beneficial it is for our kids to be able to engage in opportunities like that, and that they earned. And so I just want to give a huge shout out to Schlossers, who has done a lot of good things in this community. And Joanne Von Lupkin not only is incredibly generous with her money, but she also volunteers all the time. And so just for her to give in multiple ways is just really impressive to me, and I just want to give her a thank you for that. So with that, I would take a motion.
I'll move to accept the generous donations as presented.
I'll second it.
Okay, so motion by Crendon, second by Monica. Any other comments or questions? Okay, Monica.
Aye.
Crenda.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, and we thank them again. All right, Monica, I pulled a fast one on you last time, so you get to go first this time.
Oh, I'm just so thankful. I went to school here. My parents live right across the street, so it's so neat to come and see how it's growing, how it's changing. My kiddos came here, my brothers came here. It's just an awesome school to be in and just to watch it grow. Thank you, Ms. Kuykendall. I mean, I had Mr. Newton as a principal when one of my daughters was here, so it's just neat how the whole community gets together, grows, and the teachers, the students. Really cute. I mean, I just missed the teaching part. Thankful for the PTO, Claudia, the playground committee, public comment, music teachers, students to be here, and the parents to bring them. It's really nice to see the assembly led by the students. I was here for the music, and then the students are just presenting and leading, and they just seem to enjoy it so much. So it's nice to be giving those opportunities to our students. To everybody here who came, Amy, Kalumba, Mark, Gus, Bill, Chrissy, Dave, just everybody. Thank you all for being here. It's really nice to see the community coming together for everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to say thanks to Westside too, for hosting us and for getting an amazing amount of people in this room. I think, again, I don't know if I've ever seen that many people in this room for definitely one of our board meetings. I don't think that's been the case ever, so it's really nice. Also, just for the whole commitment of the staff, all of your staff, to really diving into writing this year and really improving. You've really improved your scores, and I know that's not about everything. It's really about all the other stuff that you showed us. But we like the fact that the scores went up, right? Like, that's wonderful. So thank you for that too, and really just for all the hard work you've done through really committing to for the whole school on one design. So I also wanted to thank Columba Cumming for the Equity Advisory Committee and the work that you're doing. I think it's really important. especially as we're still not going to fund our students with disabilities where we need them to be, and so we really want to find a way to help those students and those families, and I think it is a wonderful area for you guys to have dove into, and hopefully we can make all of that like part of our own things and make it better for our school district. And then thanks to Christy for coming. I do think this bond and levy are really important for our community, and so I hope everybody learns about them and learns why we need them, and I hope that we'll get out there and vote. So, and then and then the license appreciation. I'm really glad we were able to do that tonight. We do very much appreciate our license staff. And everything you do is so very important for our school district. And yeah, thank you. That was it tonight.
Thanks, Brenda.
I would like to thank Joe and Ocean for hosting us this evening. It looked like Joe's role tonight was kind of like a bodyguard type thing, escorting, corralling everybody, and it was a huge crowd to manage. So it was great to see. I loved hearing about the writing focus and all the things that you guys are doing and integrating the AVID program and the organization of those binders, and to have the kids come up and read to us and show us their work. They're obviously proud of what they're doing and being taught here. And that ties into those kids also wanting to be Wildcat ambassadors, although I can't see why they really are intrigued by that nasty running shoe that is awarded. But there's a lot of pride in your school, and it's evident. And it's a pleasure to be here tonight and listen to your presentation. Presentations regarding Parks and Rec, you know, what you guys offer and our relationship, they're symbiotic, and it's a necessity, so we need to support each other. So thank you for coming and presenting. That's all I got.
Well, thank you once again for proving that West Side is the best side. We'll stretch up from the record. I can't say it better than all these guys did. That was just a fantastic presentation. It's so rewarding to be able to hear from everybody, the kids and the staff and the admin. So just a shout out to anyone out there. If you bring kids that sing, we really like it. Yeah, it's great. So thank you for that. I know that's a big lift. And then I want to give a shout out. Today was Administrative Assistant Day. And I know there are lots of administrative assistants in our district, and I hope that they got the love from their buildings. They really are so important. And I will give the love to our administrative assistant, the board. I want to say thank you to Megan West. I'm not quite sure where we would be without her. She just is a phenomenal part of our team, really. And I hope she puts that in the notes, even though I know she won't. But really, a big shout out to her for just really being a support to the board and just keeping us where we need to be with the information that we need. And I just can't thank her enough, and as well to all the administrative assistants in our district today. I wanted to just close with Scholarship Night is amazing. If you all get a chance to go tomorrow, it really is such a neat experience for a big group of our seniors, and there's just so much hope for the future in that room. So if you get a chance to go, it's fantastic. I'm just going to give one more plug out there to bus drivers. We need you, and come in and see us, and let's make a deal. The budget opportunities, we do have the 2 budget meetings coming up, and we have added this year that, in the past, we have had 1 meeting, and then we've had a meeting, a second meeting only if we needed it. And this year, we are having 2 meetings no matter what, so really important for people to come to the first budget meeting and then give feedback, and that is your time to do it, because the next meeting, because of our timeline, we really do have to make a decision. Now, whether that be yay or nay, but it has to be done so that we can move on in our process and get that budget in on time. So please, please come to the budget meeting and then give us feedback, and we really would appreciate that. And again, this budget process is long, and we do appreciate all the feedback, but the budget that's presented at these meetings is really what the budget is hoping to be. And so that's when you need to come and really be able to give comment on what is going to be, because right now it is still a moving, it's a moving budget still. Because we can't have all the final numbers until we really have all the final numbers, which we won't even have at that point. But the decision will be made, and so please come. And you can watch it on TV. It's going to be live streamed as well, so you don't have to come to the building if you don't want to. And last but not least, I want to give, and as elective officials, we can actually absolutely do this. I want to give a big vote yes for the levy and the bond for the pool, and the Parks and Recs in general. It is just, it is an integral part of our school district. It supports our kids and our families in so many ways, and I would say our entire community, and would be a huge, huge loss if we did not have a pool for our community. So I would really encourage people to I mean, I know these times are hard for everybody, and we are stretching money for everyone, but to think about the impact of not having a pool on not only our whole community, but our school community in particular, would really be, I think, pretty devastating. So I'm gonna just leave us with that. All right, thank you everybody very much for coming tonight. Great meeting, and it's 8:52.
You sign.
Christy, I need to give you this piece of paper. There it is. Yep.
Thank you
Yep.
very much.
I know. Thank you so much, though. Yep. Yeah.
This is a good one. There's one that goes.
I will.
Stay here.
Yeah.
Opposite, okay?
And then